All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to State of the World. I'm Lee Rogers, the Communications Manager at World Services for the Blind, and I am joined here with who everyone wants to talk to, Eric Yarberry.
Hey guys, I just want to say before we get started, I really appreciate y'all joining and supporting World Services for the Blind, and uh, glad y'all are here. I really am, and we're excited for this what we're going to call an informal State of the World address. I want you guys to feel like you can approach me at any time with any questions, and no, seriously, you send me an email or ask any questions. I'm here, and that's what we're here for at WSB. So thank y'all for joining.
Yeah, and we're gonna kick it off here with kind of a fun question for you, Eric. Um, World Services is based in Little Rock, Arkansas, and we get a lot of people wondering why you would want to even come to Arkansas. What is there in Arkansas to do?
You
Uh,
know, Lee, I was afraid you'd ask that question, Lee. So one thing about me is I grew up in Arkansas. I'm from Arkansas. If you can't tell by my southern accent, some people can hear it better than others. I love Arkansas. A lot of people now are actually moving to Arkansas. Cost of living is excellent, and it truly is the natural state. I love it. I do a lot of camping and fishing and hunting with my family, and I love the outdoors. And you can get anywhere outdoors, hiking trails, in less than a 15-minute drive from Little Rock. And Northwest Arkansas, Fayetteville, Bentonville, Springdale, the home of Tyson and Walmart and JB Hunt, that area is incredible as well. So Arkansas, I think, is underestimated, and I'm glad to call it my home.
yeah, it's safe to say Eric is a Arkansas man through and through.
Yeah, 100%.
Um, yeah, and to kick us off kind of on maybe more WSB focused questions, can you tell us kind of how you got started at WSB, a little bit about your background?
Yeah, so we've got a university here across the street, the University of Arkansas at Little Rock, and that's where I went for my undergrad and master's degrees. And in what would I think have been 2015, I needed volunteer hours, and I knew that World Services for the Blind was taking volunteers, and we still are. If you're in the local area, give us a shout. But I raked leaves for 2 semesters, and that's really how I got to know WSB. And so started off just as a volunteer.
Lee, you're muted.
Oh, thanks, Jim. I wanted to mute myself while Eric was talking, but could you just let us know, Eric, kind of how you got started in the blindness field, even if you started raking leaves at WSB.
Yeah, so for I've been blind my entire life. I have some vision, but it's as you all, if you're familiar with blindness, or if you're blind, we say it's enough to be dangerous. It's enough to get in trouble, but not enough to get out of it. And that's so I grew up blind. I went to the school for the blind here in Arkansas, and it's all I've known. And I was very fortunate to have uh, a dad who supported my brother and I. My brother can see, and made sure that I had the resources that I needed. A little bit about me personally. In my family, there was many camping trips we had growing up where we would be on a hike, and quite frankly, they weren't really worried about me. If I was going to tag along, I had to put in every effort to tag along, and that's just the environment I grew up around. And I and we had a lot of fun too. But I push our students here the same way, and I expect that of others. Is you can lend a hand when someone needs it, but it's important to remember that we've got to push each other to grow. And WSB, to me, I've seen it grow a lot over the past 6 years, and to be a part of the organization is really, it's been incredible. when I finished grad school, I started as the director of education and training, which Heather Miller is now in that role. But to see our programs grow for over 5 years is has been awesome. We've got a wonderful team of instructors and staff, case managers, administration, and really, and we say it here too, everyone's family. And I think part of that comes with the Southern hospitality of being in Arkansas. Like, it's just who we are and it's what we do, and it's part of who I am.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I've also been at WSB for about as long as Eric, and we've seen a lot of changes. So can you talk a little bit, Eric, about kind of maybe the most notable changes you've seen as your time as CEO in the last year?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, everyone who visits WSB, or who even hasn't visited WSB in 10, 15 years, thinks about our facilities and our organization. Um, World Services for the Blind, the organization itself goes back to 1947, and most of the buildings were built throughout the 50s. And we're not only seeing it here at WSB, but most organizations in the blind community, whether it's schools for the blind or agencies for the blind, they're facing the same things we are with infrastructure updates and upgrades. And to see WSB now, if you were to ask me if I could imagine WSB the way it looks now, I couldn't have imagined it. We've done significant upgrades in indoors. We've got new new floors, new paint, new upgrades inside that really do make a difference. And um, students, clients, when they come here, they see that and they know that. And it's awesome to bring people in on tours who, they say, well, I've driven by that lion on Fair Park for 25 years. We've got a lion out front, a marble lion statue. um, and they haven't been in here for a tour. And it's fun to bring people in on a tour now and can see all the steps and the growth that we've made. And we're very excited about bringing those upgrades to the exterior, to the things that the just the exterior facelift. Um, you've really got to get the inside infrastructure working as far as plumbing and things like that. That eventually it's just going to wear out. So that's the stuff people don't see. HVAC systems, those things are very important. But we're really looking forward to some new windows in the admin building and a new porch that's coming up pretty soon, and just continued classroom upgrades. That's really, really important.
Yeah, WSB has really seen a lot of growth since you've been CEO. And I think one thing that stood out to me in your last um, answer, I'm curious if you ever even saw yourself as being CEO of an organization like WSB.
No, and I was actually talking about this with my wife yesterday. I think, and I've got a foreign exchange student that I'm hosting right now too, who 100%, and you can't argue with him. He thinks that every American has access, 100% access to every opportunity, and that's just not true. I think I'm very fortunate to be in the position I am, and it's so important to me personally to use this position, and the connections that I have to the blindness community and to the local community here in Little Rock, to do right by our community, do right by the blind and visually impaired. And I really do take that personally, because what I do has an impact on the life that I lead. And that's, I am blind. I know that what I do makes a serious difference. So yeah, that's in short, but I take it very personally.
Yeah, and I think it's really great that we have a leader who has that lived experience and really um, cares about the mission of WSB. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, can you tell us a little bit about maybe some of the changes you see in the next year for WSB?
So one big change that I'm seriously excited about is security. Everyone talks about it, not just with residential facilities, but any training facility, any housing facility. We've got a $300,000 grant from FEMA, and we will be installing new updated equipment throughout campus to improve security within the next 6 months. We're very excited about that. I think that's so important, and it makes me feel 100% sure in myself knowing that the people here are secure. So yeah, that's one of the big things I'm excited about. And then I talked about exterior upgrades as well. Uh, just IT upgrades, computers, making sure that our assistive technology and information technology students have access to the latest and greatest technology. That's really important for me, and for WSB.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that kind of leads into our next question about, as someone who's blind, what is your favorite piece of assistive technology?
Lee, I think you're muted again.
Oh, I'm not. Can you hear me now, Eric? Hmm.
I can hear you, so you're good.
Oh, okay. It must be on their end. Hmm. Let me hang on just 1 minute, everybody. We're having some technical difficulties.
I'm not sure if Lee's having technical
Oh,
difficulties, but we'll continue. So one of the things we were going to talk about is where I see WSB going. And for me, as the CEO, yeah, it's important, but the next 5 to 10 years is my outlook. I want to make sure that the next 5 to 10 years, WSB is where it needs to be, and secure, sustainable. We've grown a lot over the past 6 years. We're at a point now where we have full capacity in our residential facility, in our dorms here. We've got amazing clients. If you guys are listening, I care about each one of you. And really, I'm looking at 5 to 10 years. What do we need to do to make sure that WSB lasts another 100 years? That's extremely important to me. That really for WSB, that's what WSB needs. That's what any organization needs in a CEO. And one other thing I want to talk about is technology. For the workforce for WSB, it's important that we prepare our students with great technology, but we also are aware of the latest and greatest and what's going on. And for me, just to make it, fun, my favorite technology, I know everybody has their favorite assistive technology, and I always talk about this, but everyone talks about the iPhone. And you kind of want to break that down a little bit more. I think for me, I love to barbecue, and my favorite piece of assistive technology is the iGrill app, and it works great. It's accessible, and one of the things we talk about here at WSB is sustainable independence and being able to cook and take care of yourself. And that's one of my outlets. That's one of my hobbies. So the iGrill app is definitely one of my favorite pieces of assistive technology, of course, behind the iPhone and the Be My Eyes app. And I think with ChatGPT and OpenAI, that type of software, blind people are the access that blind people have is opening up so much. And we're at a point now where this ChatGPT and that type of thing is so popular and it's growing so rapidly. You're seeing or even hearing about Elon Musk, who's putting money into hardware that's going to utilize ChatGPT and the Microsoft OpenAI software, so you can actually interact with it, and that's unreal to think about. I know when I was growing up, most of you, if you're blind, having access to school meant scanning your own textbooks. And it's great to be a part of today where we don't have to scan textbooks anymore. We can take pictures of things, read our mail with Seeing AI, and get quality scene descriptions using Be My Eyes. And that's, to me, that's really, really, I think we're just starting to see technology take off for the blind and visually impaired community. Lee, are you back with us?
I am with you. Can you hear me now?
Okay, so well, we can jump into, if you guys want to hop on mute and ask questions, we can do that. Like I said, I just want to open it up and have an informal conversation. WSB is growing so rapidly, and we're so excited that all of you are supporting us and here. Yeah, I just want to open it up.
Eric, are you able to hear the rest of us?
I don't think he can,
I
but
think that's the issue.
I think so. I have,
What happened?
we're
No.
working on some technical
You can't hear
difficulties.
Everyone's good.
We have our IT person working on it currently. So everybody just hold tight for 1 second. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat. And once Eric can hear us, I will read them.
Okay, that was strange. I apologize.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, Nathan, our IT guy, saved the day.
Thank you, Nathan.
I
Yeah,
was like,
That's why we pay him the big bucks.
hey, you got that right.
that's true. Yeah, it's very funny. We all could hear each other, but you couldn't hear us, Eric. But we've got a few.
I feel, hey, that's the way it is as CEO sometimes.
We got a few things in the chat. V Robinson writes, I love it. Clever name, State of the World for your yearly address. I am glad DSB is a great partner with you. I am glad to have been an alum of WSB2 in the 1990s. Thank you.
That's good to hear. And I always tell people, seriously, come in for a tour. You know, we talk about being open to everybody, and it will not offend me. It will not offend any of the staff if you just pop in one day and say, Eric said we could come in for a tour, and I'm serious. Come on in.
Yeah, and we had someone, well, and before I get to that, I do want to say it's really kind of unbelievable, the changes that we've made, even in the last year. Our facilities are beautiful. We have some questions about if WSB offers kind of online programs. So can you just kind of give a basic overview of kind of what we offer at WSB, Eric?
Yeah, so a real quick rundown. I don't want to spend too much focus on programs today. If we absolutely have online programs, and if you're interested in those types of in an online setting, we have a free online skills assessment that you can take, and that gives you a breakdown of your strengths and weaknesses, and if you're actually ready for an online course. As always, you can give us a call, or you can go to our website and fill out an application, wsblind.org, and then on admissions, there's an online application. Just filling out an application doesn't obligate you to services, so that's not a commitment. That just gives us your contact information, and you can reach out to us that way, or you can just send an email to training@wsblind.org.
We have a question. I was trying to find iGrill. How do you spell that, Eric?
I believe it's just IGRILL.
Okay. And if anyone has any questions,
It's Weber. So Weber Grills makes the app, I believe. So if you just Google not Google, but if you just search in the App Store the Weber Grill app, that will probably pull it up.
I can attest to that Eric loves this app. He talks about it all the time.
I do, and you know, people see me as CEO, but seriously, some hobbies of mine. I love cooking. I love grilling. and I want to turn the tables on you guys too. I love working in my shop. I like doing home repairs. Renovated a bathroom last year. Seriously, there's nothing that a blind person can't do today. So that being said, if you guys know of a wonderful tape measure that's not $300 that talks to you, please let me know. So and if that's my only option, great. But there's so much that we can do today. And if you've been blind for long enough, you know, sometimes you just kind of have to piecemeal it together, and that's okay. I mean, really, that's part of it.
Okay, so on that topic, Eric, this is Alyssa Summy.
Yeah.
I saw you operating a heavy duty cement drill.
Yeah.
How did you find those holes, or did Nathan find it for you and you just did the work?
No, there were no holes. You're talking.
So how did you find the spot that you needed to?
I grew up in a family that, you know, vision. I'm very fortunate. Like I said, my dad made sure that there wasn't anything that I wasn't doing. Uh, you know, small engines, housework. It I I would get put on the roof anytime we needed repairs because I was the lightest one in the family. And if I got too close to the edge, he would just say, "Well, hold on, be careful, you're going to fall off." So there was no limitations put on me because I was visually impaired. So with drilling, with cutting those things, you just learn. Um, and I mean, I can't. It's hard to explain it without actually sitting down and showing you. But you just have to find someone who's willing to take time and show you. Um, and I mean, really, that's you just can't give up because even people who can see um, have barriers they face and struggles, and it's blindness really isn't. It's not. That's not just it. There's so much you can do. So yeah, that's the fun part, getting to. And here at WSB, we all wear many hats. So anytime there's a mechanical issue, having grown up in a house where I was expected to do things, it's, you know, shop vacuuming water from flooded HVAC systems or whatever it may be. I enjoy that. That's a part of it.
Kind of speaking on barriers, we've got a really great question in the chat from Laura. What are some barriers you all are facing between you and the work you want to do? How can community support your mission?
Really for us, and we've really been pushing this hard internally, is just raising awareness of who World Services for the Blind is, first of all, and to go along with that, what do the blind and visually impaired community actually need? For us, it's just breaking down the stigmas that people have about what blind and visually impaired people can do. I'm having connections to companies and employers and people who are willing to give our students a shot at a paid internship or a shot at employment. Not that blind people need a quote chance, because that's, you know, we don't, I'm not in the business of degrading people and making them feel less valuable, but we all understand in the blind community that we're not to a point yet where everyone knows that we're capable of doing things. We need, we say accommodations, but we just have to do it a different way. So just raising awareness and helping break down those barriers and those stigmas.
Yeah, that's great. We have from Jamie, I just want to let you know I'm looking forward to being an on-campus client in the next few weeks.
Good. Glad to have you. And I really, any question that you have while you're here, you'll get to know me. I try to get to know students, know them on a first name basis, joke around with them, support them, all the way to, I take it personally when we help students find jobs. I want to make sure that all of our students are employed when they leave, and if they're not, that they're leading a life of a sustainable life and a life that they really want to live. And I do take that personal. So I look forward to meeting you, Jamie.
And then we have a recommendation for a ruler, Eric.
Go for it.
This doesn't talk, but there is a ruler called a click ruler.
Yeah, I've heard of the click rulers, and it just doesn't. I'm talking like when I measure, so I was doing flooring. I need something that's 20 to 30 feet. And I don't know that it goes that far. I've seen them before. I've used them before in high school. So great recommendation though, by all means.
Eric is very specific in his ruler needs.
Well, I mean, what it comes down to is I think what's important for the community is that we see people who are successful in these positions. And you know the barriers that people like me are facing in these positions. It's not all straightforward. It's not all easy. And truly for the blind and visually impaired community, there's a lot of backstage prep that goes into being a successful individual. And World Services for the Blind, we're helping our students be quality individuals and contributing members of society, so that they know and have access to resources. And that's one thing that I want to do is be approachable, and you guys, just anyone can ask questions, and if we don't have access to the resources, we get them, and I'll reach out to you if I have questions, if I know you have resources.
And we have Jordan is raising their hand. We'll take one more question. Oh, I think I have to unmute you. Sorry. I'm also using assistive technology, so hang on one second.
Hello, I had a question, I'm glad that, your dad and your family would let you do things like go up on the roof, my parents would never let me, nor my dad would never let me go up on the roof and, hang Christmas lights.
Yeah.
I would love to learn how to do that,
Yeah.
but they just will not let me do that
Well, and
at all.
two, yeah, and that addresses an elephant in the room, is that oftentimes the people that are closest to us are the people enabling us. And that's important. It's one of the conversations that we have to address here, with clients and the people they live with as well, is, you know, we know we can create a whole conversation around it, but you have to have open conversations, and sometimes the people that are close to you, they just will not they will not step back, and that's very tough.
I know.
Yeah, no, I understand, and that's
Like, my
right.
parents will not let me travel out of the state. They will not step back.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things we help with here at WSB, is just making sure that you have room to grow, and your own abilities, and you can grow into that. So we don't teach walking on roofs and climbing ladders here, and hanging Christmas lights, but you build the confidence you need, to get there, and you'll soon enough learn that you can do things like that. And why, by all
Yes.
means, I mean, why shouldn't you be able to? So that's right.
Yes.
But thanks for joining us, and good question.
Mm-hmm.
Just a few last messages. We have quite a few messages about your tape measure.
Great. Love it.
Is there a way we can collaborate with a tech college or company to make these tools?
Yes,
like
we do.
like the
You guys
talking-
y'all are awesome. And that wasn't the goal of this conversation, but really these things, you look at the needs of the blind, and this is just one of many. So thank you all.
And then somebody else said, I can't speak to accessibility, but there are tape measure apps you can use to measure a room and longer distances. There's always an
Yeah.
app, just is it accessible is always the question. And then
Right.
Laura also says, we talk about holding blind people to high expectations. We need to hold parents of blind children to high expectations too.
Yeah, parents, teachers, unfortunately, Right. I agree 100%. And that's one of the things that I would like to start doing too is that we bring in parents of successful blind children and start creating a space where these conversations can happen and contribute to that. Other organizations are doing that as well, but why not another one? It's important.
Well, thank you so much for
Yes, we
everyone.
need to hold parents of blind children to high expectations.
Well, thank you all for joining us. I appreciate it. WSB is on a great path. I'm so excited to be the CEO here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out.
And thank you so much, everyone. We will also be sending you a recording of this if you want to rewatch it. But we will see you guys in our next webinar.